So before we start, I just wanted to let you guys know that this session will be recorded and be uploaded on the YouTube. So anybody, if you guys wanna, go back and watch some part more, you guys are welcome to do that. So please be aware that this session will be recording. Yes. So welcome to AX's very first virtual coffee break. Yes.
Let's go. Hi.
Good morning. Good morning, Evan. Good morning, Clemens. Good morning, everybody. Yeah. So we named our session as Vulture Coffee Break instead of webinar because last time when we did webinar, I didn't have enough time to listen to what you think, your questions, your concerns, especially about the Japan marketing. So please feel encouraged to ask us questions, raise your hands throughout the session if if some ideas pop in your head, or if something that a question that you want to ask is on the slide. You guys are welcome to do that. You don't have to wait until the Q&A session in the end. But we will have a Q&A session though. So yeah, today we'll be talking about the health and fitness apps in Japan, and some New Year resolutions and some marketing ideas related to that in that connotation. And we believe that great ideas start with coffee. So I hope the same happens to you all. And by the way, I brought some protein shake just to indicate that this session is health and fitness.
He's really doing it.
Yeah. So anyways, you guys are welcome to bring your own coffee, own snack, on great ideas for us. And yeah, so let's get started. So just in case if there is anybody who needs translation, this is how you can turn on the auto translation on the Google Calendar. Google Meeting. So turn on the caption button on the bottom, and then right click on the caption area, usually the bottom side, and then you can start translating into your first language. And I understand you guys already know how to ask questions on the Google Meet, but this is how. But you don't have to wait, but just give us a sign with the raising hand, or directly leave a chat on the Google Meet. Okay. So the first thing that we want to talk about is the New Year resolutions in Japan, and comparison about the top 20 health and fitness apps in the App Store and the Play Store. And then I will give you guys some time to talk about some free marketing consultation and some discussion time. And this slide can be shared through all the applicants after the session, and the appendix includes the more thorough analysis of top 20 health fitness apps in App Store and Play Store. Okay, speaking of New Year resolutions.
By the way, we haven't introduced ourselves yet.
That's right.
So by the way, my name is Jamie. Hello, I'm a client success manager, and I'll be talking to you about health and fitness apps in Japan. The first part will be talked about
New Year resolutions in Japan. Yeah, my apologies. Yeah, my name is Alan Park. I'm the head of marketing, and I was just so excited about our session, so I kind of skipped through who I am. But yeah, so what was your New Year resolution, Jamie?
Oh, New Year's resolution actually is very related to what we're going to talk about today, which is related to health and fitness. So I tried enrolling myself to a gym from this year, and so far it's a small progress, but it's a progress. So
so you're getting to achieve the goal.
Yes, bit by bit. Still January, so How about you?
Me, kind of similar. I set my goal as to go to the gym five times a week, but yeah, I will leave the answer to your imagination. But it's just not easy to go to the gym 5 days a week.
I can
I could
imagine.
go like three times,
Mm,
but five, man, it was not easy. So yeah, and another thing was that I'm trying my best to keep a journal every day, but that's even worse than my fitness and health fitness goal. So you know anybody can share your own New Year resolution and how it's going so far. You can turn on your mic or you can just type in the chat.
can you guys relate with us as well that it's difficult to actually achieve, health and fitness
Yeah.
goals? Yeah, especially it's winter right now. It's so difficult to actually, get yourself out there and.
Yeah, just get yourself out of the bed
Mhm.
from to start with. Okay.
I think our participants are quite shy. Oh yeah, there's one. Drink more water. I try to keep the water bottle on my desk. I think it's going okay. Oh, that's really
Good for
good.
you. Yeah, water is important to our body,
Mhm.
and just drinking at least like 2 liters a day, can really change your body. So that's what I've been hearing. So, anyone else?
Basically, be more consistent with the gym. 3 times tops, though. Respect. I know.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get back in shape.
Mm,
Yep. So New Year resolution is, maybe it may be a universal stuff, but I want to discuss more about how the Japanese people deal with it, and from there we want to connect how that's applied to the app users and the app markets of the fitness and health apps. So to get started, in America, Forbes Health and One Poll did research, and most of their New Year goals were related to fitness and health. So improving fitness, they 48% of the respondents said, their goals were, related to the fitness, and 36 for mental health, 34 for losing weight, and 32 for improving the diet. So everything goes back to the fitness and health. And 38%, which was the second largest, was to improve the finances. So we can say that most New Year resolution in America are related to the health and fitness, but was it so in Japan?
mhm.
Not quite so. Japanese people actually, the Forbes Japan, did the similar research last year and then found out that most of their New Year's, resolutions were related to the finance. I want to make more money. I want to increase the salary, and more specifically, work related was the third largest. And it was, for example, I want to get promoted and I want to get a new job and things like that. The fitness related goals were 48%. So the percentage wise is the same as what the Americans have said. But there's one big pie in the according to the Forbes Japan, which is finance. So we can conclude that the Japanese people seem to be more interested in improving the finances rather than getting in better shape. So however, most achieved New Year resolutions was fitness related. And people have answered that 38% was able to complete or achieve their fitness related goals, but only 26% was failed in achieving the goals. But finance was the biggest New Year's goals, right? So either the most achieved or the most failed were kind of related to finance there too. But I just thought it was interesting to see that a lot of people in Japan could achieve their fitness goals. Yeah. So going forward, going further with that achievable fitness goals in Japan, it was shown in the Asahi Wellness Shop surveyed their own members, which was mostly women, and 80% of them was aged more than 40. So the Asahi group asked them what was their New Year resolution about fitness. Most popular responses was walking. Yeah, they would like to go for more walk or at least like 10, 15 or 20 minutes. So that's not exactly like I want to go to the gym 5 times a day. I want to bench 100 kilograms this year, or I want to deadlift 200 kilograms. It's a more hardcore fitness gyms, or for a guy like me to think of. But for the Japanese people, especially when the age gets more and gets older, they like to keep their walking habit and on. And the next popular answer was improving the diet. So since they're going out for a walk takes a lot of energy for them, improving the diet itself becomes a goal for them. Otherwise, miscellaneous goals such as riding a bike to work instead of driving a car, or stop using a robot cleaner.
The Roomba, right?
Yeah.
So convenient though.
Yeah, I know. Once you start using it, you forget about how to turn on your vacuum machine. But but these people are trying to find these little bits in their daily lives to get back in shape. So this is kind of why there were so many people who answered that they could achieve the goals. Their fitness related goals are likely that it's not as grand, as not as big. It starts with something small, something achievable. Yeah. So another point that I want to make between Japan and America is that when I try to research about New Year resolution in Japanese, most results were about how to achieve the goals. Whereas America, and when I searched that the same question in English, more results were focused on what are this year's goals, what are popular goals and resolutions among people. So we can again go back to the idea of achievable goals, achievable New Year resolutions. So it might be worth trying the simple and easy goals in your, maybe creatives of your services. Say, change from like, 2 months or 3 months period to like maybe 1 month. Yeah. So we will get back to that point, in later part. But I think, this was an interesting finding. Yeah. So here's a brand that really, backs up my point of, achievable, fitness goals really, speak well to popularity of the Japan. So this is a chain, the weight training center brand name started in, July 2022, but it reached 1 million users in a year.
Including me.
She's a proud member of Chocozap.
Yes.
So this has helped her to improve and to accomplish her New Year resolution as walking every day, do some jogging, after the work. How? Easy access. There are more than 1,000 stores across the entire country, and it's unmanned, gym. QR code entrance. And usually the Japanese, gyms require wearing clothes and gym shoes. I mean, it kind of goes, it's kind of universal thing, but in Japan, it's quite hard not to wear the gym clothes when you go to the gym. Everybody's wearing the gym, and then the Japanese people seem to care quite a lot about what other people may look at me and think about me. Yeah. So the Chocozap, also provides like workout and skincare and massage chair and various services included in the plan. And above all, it's cheaper than usual, only
Yes.
1/3.
Very
Here is a
cheap.
witness.
Very cheap, about like 3,000 yen. So
Yeah, that's about $30 a month. I know there are cheaper gym brands in America and in the world, but to the Japanese people, this is cheaper.
much more
Yeah.
cheaper.
So it has positioned as the gym that is just like the convenience store. So it's easy to go to everywhere and less stress.
Yes.
So it shows in their copywritings. So on the very left, the banner says just 5 minutes a day, not even 30, not even an hour, just 5 minutes. You see how low the hurdle is? And the second banner is saying no need to change clothes. And it also has the 5 minutes there. And the last banner is saying that invest 100 yen, about 10 cents. in US dollar and in about 10 cents a day. So all of these banners are lowering the hurdle and highlighting the easily achievable goals. So, I mean, this is not the only reason why ChocoZap could succeed in Japanese, health and fitness, industry. But I believe that, this has been a big part of their success.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So summing up the New Year's resolution in Japan, this finance is more popular than fitness in Japan, but fitness-wise, walking and diet seem to be more popular than weight training, hardcore, workouts. So easily achievable goals can give motivation to more people. Does this point, really, come to terms even in the ad markets? Jamie will, start discussing about it. But before we get into it, any thoughts or any insights that you guys think it was helpful in this first session?
Feel free to type in.
Yeah.
So while they're typing, I want to share my Japanese snack for today. It's one of my favorite snacks. If ever you come to Japan or in a Japanese store, I really like this one.
And I'm taking a sip of my protein shake.
And also, by the way, just note that it's actually 7 p.m. in Japan. So we're sorry that we called it virtual coffee break, but I'm actually drinking tea.
Yeah, and I'm
right
drinking
now.
protein shake. So yeah, please allow us for this, various, drinks for this coffee break. Okay.
All right. So, well, feel free to type in your comments even later on is also fine.
Yeah.
So I guess we can move on to our next topic. All right. So for today's virtual coffee break, I'm gonna talk about the top 20 health and fitness apps, App Store versus the Play Store. So let's look at the patterns of the successful apps in the stores, so we can get insights on how they actually strategize their keywords and their creatives that made them to be ranking at the top. All right. So before we do the comparison, let's look at the current OS share in Japan. So this is based on the research done by MMT in September 2023. So as you can see here, the division between the Apple users and Android users, it's actually almost half. But what differs here is that there are more, like the younger they are, the more likely that they use iPhone. And then I wouldn't say they're old, but Japanese people, they're still very strong, even though they reach 40s to 60s. But yeah, just to mention, 40s to majority of 40s to 60s mainly use Android.
Yeah.
And just another note is that Android has slightly more male users than female users.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm an iPhone user.
We're in that generation. All right. So maybe we can agree on our next slide. I'll be talking about the characteristics of the iPhone users versus Android phone users. So please take note that it's just a general observation. So it may not apply universally within each consumer segment, but it is observed that iPhone users, they're more tech savvy and early adopters of technology, and they're very brand conscious as well. Yeah. And it is obvious that they want to stick on their ecosystem. Like if you have iPhone, you probably have your Apple Watch as well, and your MacBook, which is most Apple users actually. Yeah. And they're
also say that Apple runs in your blood, right?
Yeah. Capitalism.
Oh,
I'm a victim.
That's a different topic.
Yeah. So anyway, it's said that they have high engagement with mobile apps as well. So they always seek for new downloads, and they actively use the apps as well for productivity and lifestyle. And they're also concerned about privacy, security, and also especially the design and UX design. On the other hand, Android, they have more diverse user base, and they like open ecosystem.
Yeah.
They like customizing. They're very they like flexibility. They really value conscious as well, and really care about functionality.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I
So
think poor iPhone users still cannot use the C-type charger.
oh well. All right. So moving on. So our category is health and fitness, but we were able to find four subcategories under this as well. So among the top 20 apps in each stores, we found that we have diet apps, fitness apps, self-management apps, and medical apps as well.
Yep.
And comparing App Store and Play Store, Play Store has more diet apps.
Interesting.
They do care about weight loss more than App Store, I guess, based on the data. And
Okay.
for App Store users, they're more into self-management apps and fitness as well.
Mhm.
And so what kind of apps are in the diet apps? What kind of services do they have? So we do have for App Store, we have the weight record. And same with the Play Store, we do have the pedometer and dietary control. So
it kind of speaks back to the popular answers from the Asahi Group's research was walking. And these pedometers, help the users count their steps, how many walks that they had. I know the iPhone and even the Android phones have the how that tell you the walking steps, but these step counting apps are popular in Japan.
Yes. And also looking at the keywords. So let's kind of observe the most used or frequently used keywords in the App Store and the Play Store. And maybe we can find insight on the characteristics of each App Store. Right?
Yeah, just give you guys an idea of how we found these keywords is that we look into these top 20 apps in the health and fitness category, and then we subcategorize the apps into the four categories, just like Jamie explained, and these keywords were popularly used in their metadata, meaning title, subtitles, or short description, or the descriptions. So we we counted the frequency of these keywords, and then those are some of the words that were frequently used in the metadata. Thus, we can say that this may help your app or may meaningful keywords to increase your search rankings and more visibilities.
Right. Thank you for explaining that, Alan. And yeah, I want to share an insight about Japanese people. There's this like poikatsu or like point collecting activities that's very trendy in Japan right now. So there are a few keywords that were here that are related to that activity. So the word stamp, challenge, and number of steps are highly related to that activity. So it's like the more you walk, the more you get points and you get something from the app or like monetary something or
so it starts with small steps that can be done every day instead of having to walk for like 100,000 steps in total. But a couple of thousand steps a day, right?
There's even a Coca-Cola app in Japan as well. The more you walk and like you can make a group and then you walk together and you get free drink from the from the vending machine.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you walk and then you get the free Coke.
Yeah.
So it sums up.
Yep. That's true. You validate you validate your your walking. Good marketing.
Yeah.
So anyway, another thing about the Apple, the App Store keyword is the word simple. So I always said earlier that Apple users care more about the UX design, and I guess that's why the keyword is there. And as for the Play Store users, there's a little bit higher male users in the Play Store. So that's probably the reason why there's muscle training and like exercise or workout keywords into the diet apps.
Okay, interesting.
All right. So moving on with the diet apps creatives, this is where it gets interesting. So for the App Store users, being brand conscious and you know the I think they strategize their apps to be more showing the trustworthiness of the brand. So they emphasize the word number one more on their first screenshots.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, for the Play Store, so they focuses more on the functionality of the apps, right? So that's probably why they emphasize more the graphs on their screenshots. And also there's a trend that they put the actual kilogram that you will lose at this certain amount of time, and also the word 30 days, so like a plan or challenge, which is like connected to what Alan said, like your goals being achievable. So they highlight them more, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, just one note about having the number one on your screenshot. Both app stores and Play Store say that it's highly recommended not to use, not to say that this is number one or how many users are using this app and stuff. But I think this is still in somewhat gray area. So like they're not prohibiting it, but using it too much may be it may give you some risk that your app could be banned for that version. So be cautious about that. But it's true that using this number one on the screenshot seems to work, at least in the Japanese health and fitness industry and market.
Mhm. And yes, we go to the fitness apps this time. So the kinds of services that they have are this. We have gym, strength training, and running for the App Store, and sharing with the Play Store is the smartwatch apps.
Yeah, this is Fitbit. So it's a smartwatch brand, and it's the app for them. But it's maintaining their ranking as within at least like top 10 for a long time. It kind of goes back to the idea that people like to walk in Japan, and usually this smartwatches, unless you're an Apple user with your Apple Watch, they need these other devices from Android to help them count better walkings and better strategize their fitness behaviors. So that can be another reason why we see more various fitness related apps in iOS, while it's more focusing on the smartwatch apps in the Android devices.
Right. Okay, so let's observe the keywords for the top fitness apps. All right. So for iOS, of course, they like to stick on their ecosystem. So the word Apple is very present in in their metadata. Yes. And yes, it's also trending with there's probably, they use the app together with their Apple Watch, right? And since iOS is majorly used by younger consumers, and the majority of Android users are 40s to 60s, we can probably get insights on their interest on this keywords. So maybe, younger people's interest when it comes to fitness, we have the keyword activities, exercise, workout, and strength training, right? And having trainer as well on your fitness goals. And for the 40s to 60s, probably they like yoga and running, training, and
more calming workouts.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's funny that the strength training or muscle training was in the Play Store side for the diet apps, but it's popularly used in the fitness apps for the App Store. So I guess the age difference can also go back to how the user relates diet and fitness. So I guess comparably elderly users relate fitness or diet with weight training, while fitness with the more calming workouts.
That's a really good point. Okay, and as for the creatives for fitness apps, we can see here that most apps tend to allow users to see training menus and plans. So an app store as well, they still emphasize the number one and the awards. And for the Play Store, they emphasize the graphs still there. And there's also a trend that they make it achievable, like only 30 days, like you can challenge yourself. And the App Store is even like, they say 4 weeks. Same.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and another point that I want to make here is that, these apps are not Japanese oriented, as you can tell from the appearances of the people used in the screenshots. So I do understand that, many of, the foreigners who look at Japan, they might think that, it's like required to have a Japanese person or an image in their screenshot to be more culturalized, which may be true, but looking at these examples, it may not be that important. So it may be done as long as the context allows, but the entire design still has the tone from the Western cultures or the original versions, and the example bodies as well, especially here. It might feel a little awkward to have the Japanese people's faces in this body. Not to mention, not that Japanese people don't have a very like muscular and in shape people, but I think I just realize more and more that it's important to keep the overall context of the screenshots rather than just a small element here and there.
Okay, so let's discuss this briefly. The self-management healthcare services. This is for the App Store and the Play Store. So for the Play Store, we can see more of like goal setting, mindfulness, even the plastic surgery, facial diagnosis. It's very trending. It's always showing up on the discover keywords in the App Store as well.
Really?
Yes, and
Appearance.
For the Play Store, we can see more of the health data management, blood pressure, blood sugar level.
It does show the age difference. And we can also note that there's a mindfulness app in the App Store part. So more younger and maybe more female users are more fond of the mindfulness and the mental health compared to the men and elderlies.
All right. So since there's not many apps actually for this one, we get few keywords, but we can see that for the Play Store, it's talking more about the functions of the apps. So it still goes to the characters of the store users. And as for their creatives, they do emphasize a lot about easy to see and visualize the outcome. So they usually put this keyword like record everyday challenges and also like achieve goals with new habits, for example.
Yeah. Interesting point. This is the last subcategory, right?
Yes. And this is where I think the age also shows. So for the App Store, they do care about like sanitary items and practices during pregnancy and menstruation. And Play Store has that as well, but they do have, they don't have, the pregnancy apps and more about like blood donation. So
right. Wow, that really divides.
And as for their creatives, for the keywords, for the keywords, yes, you can see here as well. So yes, for the Play Store, there's more of the examination, symptoms, and reservation. There's probably like reserving slots for medical checkups as well. As compared to App Store, they do have the sanitary items keyword and pregnancy practices as well. Okay. And for the creatives, So, as I've said earlier, for App Store, they do care about the design. So you can see here that the top apps, their screenshots are more like on the creative side, I guess, compared to the Play Store. So they're probably one strategy as well. And yeah, they do use a lot of pink and pastel tone on both stores. And they emphasize the management dashboard and various features as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so looking at the top 20 apps in both App Store and Play Store, we can say that there are a lot of apps that is for step counting, for health tracking, weight recording, and yeah, this is supporting the users on how to achieve their health and fitness goals.
Yeah.
And the second point is that top apps use keywords that appeal to the needs of their demographic. So it really shows that knowing the mobile landscape and their needs is very essential. And the last is the creatives emphasize elements that makes users visualize how can they succeed if they use this app, and it's making their goals seem achievable.
Yeah, like 30 days or use this much of kilogram if you follow our steps, for how long. And, this is every day recording, every day record your diet, you know, something that can be done, something that looks, easily achievable.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right.
So this has been the things that we prepared for today's session, but I know there are some time left, but I want to use this time to invite you guys to freely talk and ask us questions if there is any. So yeah, feel free to type in or turn on your mic and ask questions, or you can ask me my workout routine if that's what you care more.
What machines do you use though?
Machine, well, a lot.
Oh.
Well, I prefer free weight
Mhm.
than Smith machine. So, but besides that, I do use a lot of the pull down machines and yeah,
I see.
side lateral raise and machines and chest pressed and
Oh, we do have a question now.
yep.
So we have a question. Do you know what percentage of users search in Japanese versus English? So
Yeah. So to give you the specific number, I do have to go back and check my data, but it's probably 9 to 1. So the Japanese people use all Japanese people use Japanese when they search.
Mhm.
But and even though this fitness, this is an English word, but it's borrowed in Japanese and then it's pronounced as fitness. And it's written in the Japanese katakana.
Mhm.
So that's a Japanese word there, even though it is borrowed from English. So it is important to know that your keyword, even though it is coming from Japan, English, it's better for you to understand how it's most popularly used in among the Japanese people.
Mhm. Like, okay. Any other questions, guys?
Or any noticed differences from your own country to what you just heard about the Japan culture. Yeah. Do you think people in maybe Turkey or Spain or Denmark, somewhere maybe America, would prefer to have those 30 days countings in their creatives, or is it more toward the being in shape stuff?
Mm.
Any ideas on that, guys?
Mhm. Not yet.
And meanwhile, I'm gonna have some snack.
Okay.
Right. So I guess I'll take that. Oh, thank you very much.
So from okay, we're still trying to establish our presence in Japan, so we are taking baby steps to test. For now, we are simply translating our page to Japanese, but it was interesting to see how other app store listings look in Japan, so we can localize it further.
Yeah, it's a good point. There is now like AI helping you do the translation, and then like all the translators around me are kind of afraid that they might lose job. Maybe so in near future, but not yet. Yeah, Google, Papago is Korean translator that's popularly used, but or like open ChatGPT, name it. The translators are not complete yet.
And Play Store has their AI, generative AI as well
True.
for metadata right now. And we did test that.
But there is still some room that native people have to take care of. There is certain connotation that this word, even though it does mean the thing that I have, that I want to mean, but still it has a maybe negative connotation that it might give a bad impression to the possible users. Yeah, and just supporting my the previous question about how many percentage of people in Japan use Japanese or English in the search. So in 2023, there was only 2.4% among the Japanese people in Japanese nation, but it's now projected that it's going to increase quickly. So the Japanese, having a population, population issue, so there will be less, Japanese people, but more, foreigners living in Japan. So it might as well, it's becoming more important to take care of the English users who are living in Japan.
So we got a response. Makes sense. I was also wondering to what degree the screenshot should be adjusted to fit local preferences. But it was nice to see it's not as heavy in the decision making as I thought.
Yeah. So like it would be ideal to have a very Japanese preferable screenshot set. But not everybody has the luxury of having a native Japanese personal in your design team. So and even though you have one, it should be the one who understands the market's trends and what's preferable one. So you can start, as you mentioned, Clemens, as a baby step, it might be worthwhile to try the A/B test of changing the main catch copies of your first screenshot, and from there you can try adding some Japanese related elements there to see if that element would work for you. But yeah, so I'm glad that this session has helped you. And AX is open to AX is open to giving you guys the AS audit for your apps in Japanese stores too. So as my team sends you the reply, send you an email with the presentation deck. If you guys need some help with Japanese market, maybe some audit for your services, we are more than happy to do so. Yeah, and it's not that this session is over, so like you guys are welcome to leave more questions or leave some notes for us.
Oh, we got a question. We usually localize our English creatives to other countries, but those creatives don't perform well in Japan. Do you have any feedbacks to design creatives for Japan market?
It is a very good question, but at the same time, wide one. So, like even though it's a very culture specific and a unique culture, it differs from category to category. So we looked into the health and fitness apps, but even that category had like 4 different subcategories.
Right.
The medical apps for example, medical apps in the App Store prefer to have the pastel pink tones, for example. But would it work for like the diet apps or the fitness apps? It's hard to tell. So very simple advice it may be, or very textbooks. It may sound like a textbook answer, but first, before you meet a good partner in Japan, it might be advisable to focus on your brand colors and your context. I know that's what you guys have been doing with your English creatives, but it's not performing well. But another thing you can try is localizing the catchphrase that's more easily understood to the Japanese people. It kind of goes back to our previous question where the machine translation wouldn't do the 100% job.
Yes. And yeah, while observing a lot of apps, actually, we kind of share some laughs as well, since we do see a lot of like a natural translation from a lot of apps actually that are not properly localized.
Yeah. So Q, thank you for a great question. And if you kindly let us know your app, we may take a look at it and then give you further notes. Does that answer your question? Okay. Thank you. All right.
Okay.
Yep. There's our email account, or you can wait for the deck to be sent to you, and then you can feel free to give us a response with some questions or with your app names. Okay.
It seems that they're really interested about Japan insights, though. So
Our pleasure.
yes. So on our next slide, actually, I want to share yes, a website where you can get Japan insights as well. So we'll also be uploading our materials used for today. So feel free to visit aiexpost.com. And yeah, there's a lot of articles there as well talking about Japanese marketing. So feel free to read and subscribe there. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed your coffee. I hope this coffee session it generated a lot of great ideas. And yeah, my cup it's kind of invisible because of this background. All right. Thanks a lot for being with us today, and I hope we can talk to you guys soon.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Have a great day.
Maybe see you next month for another online event.
Yep.